Hey, folks, another episode of Real Estate Rescue with Greg Ferrera. That's me, your host. Been in this business over 30 years, watching the markets all over the country. Thanks for joining me. It's been an interesting year, 2026. A lot of things are going on and changing across the country. Now, I've been doing this since 1995 as a profession, have sold thousands of homes, help tons of people buy and sell their homes and get through some sticky situations and some challenges. Now, what I'm doing here is our platform designed to help you navigate these markets as they're ever changing from coast to coast. Now, I work out of Idaho, the Treasure Valley, and our radio show is called Real Estate Rescue. And our website, if you want to reach out to me, is realestaterescueidaho.com. And my producer always asks me to remind you, please do like and subscribe on the show, as we are constantly trying to get you more and updated content to pay attention to how to navigate the markets as they change. Now we're into spring. A lot of markets have an excess of, I'll say, inventory. And a lot of the inventory, surprisingly, folks, homes are sitting, and they're sitting vacant. A lot of resale homes. Now, on the other side, let's look at the new construction. Wow, what's going on? I think the elephant in the room, when a seller is actually paying you, offering you tens of thousands of dollars to buy their home, there's a message, right? Those of you going, yeah, Greg, nobody talks about this. I know. A lot of builders are offering incentives, the likes of which we haven't seen for a long time, if ever. Tens of thousands of dollars toward rate buy downs. That's right, interest rate buy downs. A builder is willing to put 10, 15, 20, 25, maybe more, $1,000 toward buying your rate down so that you can afford the payment for a home that, let's agree, is probably overpriced in the marketplace. So there's a lot of incentives, a lot of manipulation going on to help buyers and sellers work through this ever challenging time that we're facing. Now, I go back and I say, hey, when I started this thing in 1995, interest rates were 7.5%. I can remember buyers getting an FHA loan at 7%, and they were celebrating. Well, what was the cost of the house, Greg? Yeah, I know, 98,000, 95, 120, maybe 150. Yeah, now we're starting at 400 in some markets. Not all. There's places around the country at under 300,000, even under 200,000. You can still get a great house. But where I'm working out of, the Treasure Valley, Idaho, average list prices, for those of you sitting down, I know this is nuts. New construction and resale are over $800,000. That's right, over $800,000 average list price. Now the floor, the bottom, the starting price is between $350,000 and $400,000. Now, some of you might be saying, Greg, how does that work when interest rates are in the sixes? And I heard they went up a little last week to, almost 6.5. Well, I'll share with you, for a lot of folks, it is not working. The marketplace has gotten stagnant. A lot of sales that we're used to are not happening right now. Buyers, they're sitting on the sidelines watching. Sellers trying to figure out what's going on. Should we rent? Our home's been sitting on the market. We've done a couple price reductions, although I say not aggressive enough, right? And the homes are still sitting. So they're contemplating pulling the homes off the market, maybe allowing them to become a rental home, and just looking at different options. So as we're working through this, we're going through spring, we're coming into summer. Historically, folks, that's when people put their homes up for sale. Now we have a unique situation here. Greg, we have homes right now that aren't selling, sitting on the market. Our days on the market are going up. Our inventory is going up. In a lot of different markets, you want to have a 90 to 120 day turnover, and we're starting to look more and more and more at that. And now our turnover is at 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And that's not what we want, 8 months of inventory. So you also, I don't want to forget, in the different price ranges, there's different things going on. Here in the Treasure Valley, we have a bunch of homes in the over $1 million range. They have certain things going on. And then we go down to that, let's say 350 to 650 range. And there's a different activity going on there. But the marketplace is being affected across the board, No question about it. So if you're getting ready to be a buyer, here's what I'll share. Do your homework, get approved, understand the market, understand your costs, have a great agent. If you're here in the Valley, let me know. That's what we do, is help save you money and get you great deals. If you're not in the Valley, you're somewhere across the country, I urge you, find an agent that has a lot of experience dealing with these markets, not somebody who's doing this part-time as a hobby after work on the weekends once in a while. Find somebody who's doing this as a profession, who've committed to helping you, watching the markets, and understand how to navigate these tricky situations. You know, folks, any little detail in a real estate transaction can cost you, either the buyer or the seller, thousands and thousands of dollars. Whether we're talking about negotiating up front, negotiating price, negotiating maybe contributions, seller concessions, whether they're helping you with maybe helping you on a buy down. Maybe it's a short-term buy down, a lot less expensive than a permanent buy down. A 1 year, a 2 year, maybe even a 3 year. 3 year can start getting a little more expensive, but maybe helping you with a temporary buy down, buy your rate down, can save you hundreds of dollars a month for the first couple of years and allow you to make some adjustments so that that house payment, when it changes and goes back up, maybe we have, as a industry across the board, lowered interest rates from the Fed. And if not, you've had some time to prepare and get adjusted to make a house payment that's a little bit higher than we would like. So you just never know. I'm encouraging you to negotiate up front the very best you can, because a lot of sellers, quite frankly, are willing to make concessions and negotiations they weren't so willing to make, let's say 60, 90, 120 days ago. Yeah, we're coming into spring here. So if they had their home on the up for sale maybe last fall or through the winter, things haven't happened and they're getting motivated, they're willing to work on, negotiating and sitting with you and putting a deal together and doing things they wouldn't have done when they first listed. So no, that's available to you. Just make sure you get competent help, somebody that's professional, understands the market, and understands the art of negotiations in the real estate business and how it can impact you as a buyer and a seller, quite frankly, down the road. Home inspections, another big one. As a buyer, don't skip those. Get a home inspection. Understand the condition of your home. Even if you agree not to ask for repairs, just understand the systems of the home are critical. And I would also say, even in new construction, I can't tell you the stories that we even have here. People move into brand new homes, pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not over $1 million. And then they have little problems after close. Because in some cases, the builders haven't been in the building business for a long time. They got into the boom. Maybe they were a framer, or I don't know, maybe a roofer. Maybe they did HVAC and they wanted to become a builder. So all of a sudden now they're building $1 million homes with little to no experience. And a lot of times the buyers don't realize that. The home's beautiful. They jump in, they moved from out of state somewhere else. They come here and then they fall in love with this home, and then closing happens, and then, they have problems. So just do your homework. Please do your homework. It matters in the long run. And then sellers, understand the market. Understand what you're looking at, what you're getting into, your competition, the market trends. I understand it's spring, summer's coming fast, and there's a lot of opportunity out there, but also understand your market, understand your neighborhood, what's happening, what are the trends. In the Valley here, we have really high list prices, right? Average list prices over 800. And then we have average sold prices under 600. So there's a big gap there between the list price and the sold price. I don't expect that to change over the next 90, 120 days. See what happens as we go through summer and get into fall, but I don't anticipate that changing. So as a seller, if you're going to sell your home, boy, you've got to understand where to position your home, all the things to do to make it look great, make it a deal for someone so you can actually get it sold and get moved on. Because my instincts tell me a lot of sellers are going to come up for sale and they're not going to sell. They're going to be disappointed. So we'll be following this and see what happens. But the trend is saying a lot of homes are going to end up sitting, maybe sitting vacant, sitting up for sale, and then coming off the market. We're already seeing that to some degree. So moving forward, here's my advice. If you're a buyer, do your homework, get approved, understand your costs and your payments, not just your monthly payment, what it costs to get into the home. If you have an HOA, some of those aren't very friendly. Understand the HOA costs. Understand the maintenance costs. If you're in a home that maybe isn't in a subdivision, do you have a well? Do you have a septic system? Do those need care? Understand the maintenance of your home. The systems. How old is your roof? Your HVAC, your heating and cooling. Are those things going to need to be repaired or replaced in the next few years? Understand those can cost thousands of dollars. So do your homework. Don't be surprised. Go through this, understanding the process, and be excited about what you're doing because you're informed. Sellers, also, do your homework. Understand where your buyers are coming from. Are they coming from the area? Are they coming from out of town? If you've priced your home great in the neighborhood, but the buyers are looking anywhere from your community to other communities in the valley, then you have to really understand the market in a much bigger perspective. What are other homes going for in other small communities just a little ways away? Understand, knowledge is power. Don't be surprised. I say on my radio show, no uh-ohs. Always here for you. If you need some help, or Real Estate Rescue, Idaho.com. Want to be here for you, help you, empower you to make great decisions and be prepared. I cannot encourage you more than I am now. It's 2026, springtime. Get educated, understand what you're doing moving forward. Because if you don't, you could get some surprises. And unfortunately, we usually move because of life transitions. And I always want to encourage you to know what you're doing, move forward, try and do it with enthusiasm and excitement and not with surprises and disappointment. All right, it's another episode of A Real Estate Rescue with Greg Ferrera. Appreciate you being here. Please do click on that like and subscribe button, and we'll be back real soon for more information and updates in the market. God bless, and we'll be back real soon.